guys. Alrighty, so as promised, I'm doing a video on whether or not I think you should ask for permission before doing spells or magic and Reiki. I asked you guys on Facebook what your opinions were. You guys left all kinds of opinions. You had great debates. It was awesome. I appreciate nobody getting pissy pants with anybody else. I, of course, had my opinions set before I posted the questions, but there was awesome responses and awesome reasoning behind what you guys thought. So, having said all that, this is what I think. A lot of people, especially, I could tell, some people were very set in their ways. A lot of people will disagree with me, which is completely fine. Please, stick to your beliefs. That's what makes you, you. If you are disagreeing with me, or if you're agreeing with me, I would love to hear from you in the comments as to why, or on the Facebook page, whatever. But here's what I got going on for you guys. So, first of all, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth between spells and Reiki, because they are so different, and there's a reason that they're different. So, here's my answer. I feel like, for the most part, for spells, you should gain permission. For Reiki, you don't have to. And you're like, oh my god, Krista, but you're both sending this. Why? Let me tell you why I think this way. So when you think of a spell, what are you doing? What are you doing when you're sending that intention, that magic to another person? Let's say that both the spell and the Reiki are intended for the same purpose. Let's say that they're intended to heal someone. We're sending healing energy. Let's stick away from all the other stuff, because you can send spells for so many freaking different reasons, okay? So we're going to stick to healing to keep them both similar. Now, when you're doing a healing spell, what do? Part of it, this is what I get from spells. Part of it is the witch's intention, what the witch is putting forward. The other part is universal will, I guess. You are, of course, using, hopefully not your own energy, hopefully you're utilizing universal energy to bring in, to mix with your intention that you've already built, and then sending that energy off to heal this person. So, in all hopeful cases, you have your sacred space, you have your herbs, you have your crystals, you have your whatever it is that you want to use. You're building that energy, you're in a great mood, you're building all that positivity, you're bringing in the universal energy, you bring in the universal energy, then you're charging it with all of this intention, all of this love, all of this healing, and you're sending it out. Yeah? Yeah. So then the person receives it, boom, good to go. Now, so my mom comes over and wants me to do a spell for her such and such friend because she's in the hospital. Which would never happen. But, okay. So, I don't really care for this person a whole lot. Not that I don't feel awful that they're in the hospital, but I don't really care for whoever this person is, we'll just say. So I already am going into this with a little bit of animosity, even though I'm trying to keep positive. Or maybe I'm sick, maybe I'm tired, maybe I had a long day at work, maybe there's all kinds of things that can go into this. So then you start doing the spell, and even though you're putting forth all the positive intentions that you possibly can and all the healing energy that you can, that little bit of animosity, that little bit of pissed offedness is gonna seep out into that spell. And then when you send that, you could have repercussions, which is why they always tell you there's so many precautions to do before spells, because spells can go awry, because a spell is in, okay, and I've read this so many places, magic is in the witch's intention, okay? Magic all comes from the witch. You can have good spells, you can have bad spells, you can send negativity to someone. It is possible to do so because you are sending your own intentions in what you're putting out. So you may accidentally put something in that healing energy. So that is why I feel like if you're ever going to do a spell, not just healing, but a spell in general, for someone, you need to ask permission. I did a spell for Kevin's mom. I did a mojo bag for her for healing. And I asked, or I had him ask, because it makes me nervous to not ask someone, because what if? What if something happens? Then you're going to feel like complete shit, and they have no idea why it's happening. Get what I'm saying? It's not always like that, I get it, but there's always that chance, because it's not straight up universal energy. Some of that is coming from you, okay? So that's why I think you should ask when it comes to spells and magic, because something could happen, all right? Now, when it comes to Reiki, now I've taken 2 Reiki classes, and every time my teacher has told me that basically, because I've read it in all the books, you should ask permission before doing Reiki on someone. I disagree to a point. I feel like Reiki is, and not that I feel like, Reiki is universal energy. It is all good, all loving, all natural energy that can do no harm. Reiki is only done for the highest good, always. So you're going to tell me that me sending the utmost good to somebody is bad? I'm not seeing why. Now, to precursor that, what I do is, if I am ever sending Reiki to somebody and I don't ask, you know, if I'm sending it to my husband, if I'm sending it to my mother, if I'm sending it to, you know, my best friend, to people over the internet, whatever, I will precursor it and say, you know, I'm sending this Reiki for the person's highest good. If this Reiki is not in the person's best interest and it is not for the highest good of that individual, I ask that the Reiki go to the nearest person who needs it and who is open or returns to Mother Earth. That way, if I send it to this person and that person's higher conscious or doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't want it, it will go where it's wanted and where it's needed. So I don't ever feel bad. Like the other day, a couple days ago, I was holding a 3-month-old baby. I'm sorry, I can't turn it off. Like, if I'm holding somebody, if I'm holding a baby or if I'm touching someone, that Reiki turns on. And I'm not just like, oh, by the way, I'm touching you and my Reiki's flowing right now, so sorry, but I'm giving you Reiki right now. I'm not going to tell someone, and I'm also not going to remove my hand from whatever I'm doing or touching so that it turns off, because I don't know how to turn it off. It turns on, it's on until it's done. And also, I feel like if you're touching someone, like if I go up and I touch Kevin and my Reiki turns on, I feel like that's my way of knowing that his body needs it and his body's going to take what it needs. Because whenever I give Reiki, it's not from me. It's not my energy. It's not my intentions. I can be giving a session to somebody and going through my grocery list in my head. The Reiki still flows because it comes in and it goes out. I am just a conduit. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. Now, obviously, you don't want to be in a pissy mood and give Reiki because, you know, I mean, that could kind of damper your, you know, your conduit abilities. But you're never going to give Reiki in a bad way. It will never harm anyone. Ever. Never. Ever, ever, ever. And if you say it will, it won't. That's one thing I'm going to stand with. It won't. It can't. It doesn't. So, that part, sorry, you're not going to win with me on that one. But, like I said, when it comes to asking, people believe different things for different reasons. That's awesome. Please continue with your beliefs. That is just why I think that when it comes to spells and magic, you should ask. When it comes to Reiki, I don't really feel like you have to. Now, like I said, I do kind of precursor that if I'm sending it to somebody and they don't know about it, I do ask the universe and ask their higher conscious. I will ask that and just be like, if this isn't for you, please send it to someone else. But I don't physically call up that person and ask them. Now, also really quick, when it comes to spells, let's say that you have a dire emergency. Somebody is in a coma. Somebody is in an emergency room. Somebody is halfway around the world. I don't know. You're in a place where you can't really get a hold of somebody. It's not really a good time to get a hold of somebody. Somebody doesn't really like, you know, what you do. You can't, but you feel you have to do that magic. I also feel like you can kind of put up some boundaries. You can talk to the universe and be like, look, I need to send this shit out. It needs to go out right now. You know, only send this for the highest good. If this person doesn't, you know, you can do the same thing with spells as you can Reiki, but it's still kind of touchy. You know, I really don't feel like if I can't ask, I won't do it. That's just me. Whereas Reiki, I send it to people all the time. I just do. And if you don't want it, guess what? Your body won't take it because that's what I ask. So that's what I think. I had it all. Oh, there was another one. Damn, it's going to get longer. Somebody said earlier in the comments, they said, which was actually a really good point that I wanted to bring up. They said Christians can pray for anybody. They can send their prayers without having to ask permission. Why should I have to? Which I completely get. Totally. Awesome point. Until I started thinking about it and I thought, I feel like prayers are more like Reiki as opposed to spells. Because when you're praying, you, as a Christian, when you're praying, you are kind of giving that instance, that situation to a higher power and being like, do something with this. You're not giving your own personal anything towards it. You are more, you know, this person's in the hospital. I really hope for a full recovery, and I hope for this, and I hope, you know, God, please be with them. You know what I'm saying? And so they're kind of passing that buck along to God, to a higher power, to take care of that person. And so I don't feel like the higher power is going to come down and be like, well, you know, so-and-so was kind of pissed at you when they said that prayer, so I think I'm going to, like, maybe yank some of your cords and set you on fire. It's just not. So I feel like when it comes to praying is more like Reiki, where when you pray for something, in an actual prayer, not just like, God, please his school be canceled tomorrow, and then school is canceled, and then a bunch of people get in an accident because of ice. Like, that's not praying. That's just sending out intentions and using God in the words. When people pray, like Kevin and I were talking about this yesterday, when people actually pray, they're doing it more for bigger circumstances, and they're not asking for specific outcomes. It's more like I said, God, please be with this person, you know, while they go through this hardship. Please, you know, it's not like, please have this person get this job and make all this money. It's like, no, please be with this person during this job interview if it's right for them, blah, 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 blah. It's more of a circumstantial thing, not like a specific instance. So that's why I don't really think that fits, because while we say, yeah, spells are like active prayers, it's really not. When you really break it down, it's not. It's different. I really think that, okay, I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to stop. Anyway, so that's what I think about permission. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Love y'all. See you later. Bye.